It's Rita Wilkins, a downsizing designer. So I decided to go live today because I wanted to talk to you about something that I think a lot of people are concerned about right now, and that's when the holidays feel overwhelming. You know, how you can take one step that can bring you that peace of mind, the joy, and the meaning back into the season. You know, there's something about December when it comes around that presses on us from all different sides. So the calendar gets filled up, the lists start to multiply, and the expectations about everything start to rise. And somehow, even when the kids are grown, the house is quiet, it's empty, the traditions might look different, but the pressure to make the holidays perfect still exists. And there is one truth that we probably don't hear often enough, and that's that peace rarely arrives when we just sit around and think about everything that's ahead of us. It arrives when we take one small step, meaningful step, one small step at a time. So overwhelm hits hard, but why? Especially now, of course. You know, we don't become overwhelmed because we're weak and we're unprepared. We actually become overwhelmed because we deeply care about creating joy for people. We remember how things used to be, and we feel that silence in the room more tenderly during December. So we hold on to too many invisible responsibilities, those regrets, the shoulds. And for many baby boomer women or women 50 plus, this season can be the first one without a spouse, without a partner, or maybe a dear friend, or for the first year when your adult children can't make it home for the holidays, or the year when the house that once echoed all the footsteps and all the noise feels painfully silent. So overwhelm isn't just about tasks. It's also about that emotion, the memory, and the longing. And ignoring those feelings doesn't give you power, but denying them doesn't give you peace, but honoring them does. So there's a surprising grounding power of writing just one task down. So we kind of underestimate how transformative that simple task could be. So the moment you write something down, your brain breathes that small sigh of relief. This doesn't live only in my head right now, or I don't have to hold on to this all at once, and this is something I can do. So power doesn't come from obsessing about everything that lies ahead. It comes from, and it also doesn't come from worrying about what could go wrong. It comes from clarity. And clarity comes from small actions. So when you think about it, whether you're in an overwhelmed state right now because it's the holidays, or whether you're trying to declutter or downsize your entire house, it's one task, one step, and one drawer, one thing at a time. So even during the busiest season of the year, especially when emotions are heightened, this is where the peace begins. So there's a myth about the perfect holiday and what actually makes it meaningful. Now, we might all have a little bit of perfection in us, so this probably relates to you. So we were raised with that strong holiday tradition, you know, the big meals, the beautiful home, the noise, the chaos, and all those wonderful things about the holiday. But the women who read my blogs and listen to my videos know there's another truth, and that is that the most meaningful moments were never the perfect ones. So I hope that you have some that you can add to my list. The year the tree leaned and I could have cared less, or the year that the cookies burned and everyone just laughed because Mom burned her cookies again, or the year that the dog stole the turkey, literally. We had a Great Dane at that point. And the year that the gift budget was small, but the laughter was huge. Or the year that the entire family ended up eating Chinese dinner because the oven was not working. So what are some of the funny, imperfect things that made your holidays meaningful and also memorable? So these imperfect memories are the ones that we make us smile and the ones that we remember the most. So perfection doesn't create connection, but your presence does. So do you see yourself in any of these? So here's an example. Last Christmas, a friend of mine sat at her dining room table with a very heavy heart. It was her first holiday without her husband. Her son lived a couple of states away and wasn't able to make it home for the holiday. And her tree was still in the box. And her to-do list was way beyond 2 pages long. So she told herself, what's the point? You know, nothing will be the same anyway. But then, when she asked herself that question, something shifted. She took one small step. So she wrote down 3 simple, doable tasks. Nothing major. Put the wreath on the door. Play your favorite Christmas album. Or call your sister. And that was it. No prepare for the perfect holiday. No giant expectations. Just 3 steps. So that afternoon, she did the first one. She hung the wreath on the door. It only took 5 minutes, but something inside of her felt different. The next morning, she played the Christmas album. Tears and memories, of course, flooded. And later that day, she called her sister. And her sister said, I'm so glad you reached out because I was feeling a little lonely too. So one small step cracked open the door to connection, to healing, and a different kind of joy. And that's what the season is really all about. So if you're feeling overwhelmed this season, here's your one-step starter list. And I do hope that you follow this because so many people have reached out to me and said, I'm just not going to do Christmas this year. But it's that one little Christmas or a one Christmas tree or maybe a plant or something with the pretty lights on it, anything that will kind of shift that thinking for you. So ask yourself, what's one thing I can do today that brings peace and not pressure? And choose just one. So maybe it's lighting a candle, taking a slower breath, putting up one decoration, not all of them, and text someone that you love. So write down the 3 tasks that matter to you. That's the simplest thing that you can do, and it will make a difference. So you could donate a bag to charity. You could make a simple meal, not a perfect one. You could step outside and feel that cold air on your face and maybe the snowflakes, and then play a song that comforts you. So the goal is not productivity. The goal is actually grounding, especially for those who are spending the holidays alone. And because so many of my audience is alone, you know, this Christmas for the first time. So if this is your first season without someone that you love, just be gentle on yourself. Joy and grief can coexist, and silence can be sacred and not empty. So those small traditions done intentionally can actually bring warmth and tenderness to your heart. So take one step that honors both your past and also your present. And that's the true meaning of intentional living, which is what I talk about all the time. So just as maybe a gentle reminder, you don't need to create that perfect holiday. You just need to create a moment, then another, and then another. So small steps turn into meaningful memories. Small tasks can turn into the clarity and the calm that you're probably needing right now. And that one simple act of writing things down is often the very first step towards peace. So this season, I hope that you choose presence over pressure and grounding over perfection, and one small step at a time. I hope this helps. Now, for those of you that are interested, I've created a free PDF. It's downloadable that you can email me at ritawilkins@ritawilkins.com and just put in the subject line peace of mind or something like that, and we will definitely send that to you. And what it's intended to do is to help you, create your own steps daily. And then the other thing that you might be aware of is that for the first time ever, I've created a bundle of my 4 books. I have 4 books now, and they are available as ebooks. And for the first time ever, they're $35. It's crazy. But anyway, if you're interested, go to my website, designservicesltd.com. And I do hope that you have a blessed Christmas and take that one step.